Well, good morning, Bakersfield, surrounding communities, and everybody watching online on YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook Live. This is the Early Bird Special right here on KGEO Sports Talk, 101.1 FM, 12:30 a.m. This is a Friday edition. It is the 19th of December. I am Chris Burdick. That is Sparky. Sparky, good morning, my friend.
Good morning.
Let them know what they're in for.
Oh, man, we got to get into that entertaining game we got last night on Thursday Night Football. We'll talk about the Netflix fights tonight, the Jake Paul, there's so many good fights. Is it Anderson Silva fighting on this card?
I've heard that, but to be honest with you, I haven't dove farther
gotta
into
look into
Jake
that.
and Anthony.
But we'll get into the fights. We have some special guests joining us at 7:30, a local boxer and his trainer.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah, they're going to join us at 7:30. We'll have our boy Chris Flail that's coming in hot. He's got a lot to talk about. He'll be joining us at 8. And then Kyle Pittser from Dionysus. We're going to talk a little bit about the brews that he's got. He's got a special one that comes out every week. This week, I'll let him release it. Plus, he brought up a wrestling fantasy that I have so many questions to ask, but you can call or text. Yes, I said call. It's working right now. So you can call or text in 661-842-2000.
I am skeptical.
Yeah. Be very skeptical. But we'll get into some entertaining news if we have time to wrap up the show. But this is Friday, baby.
Yeah, it is. And we're going to get into a whole bunch of different stuff. Anderson Silva versus Tyron Woodley is on this card from what I'm seeing. That's going to be a fantastic bout. I didn't realize the two of them were part of this as well. And I just can't wait to sit down and talk to our guy, Joel Iriarte, who is a professional boxer, and his coach, Coach Martin Espinoza from Warm Up Athletics. They're going to help us break down this entire card and how big this fight is going to be. Because to be honest with you, as I told you guys earlier in the week, although I do not expect Jake to win this fight, I think this is the fight that he has been begging people for months, if not years, since he started this whole thing. And everybody started believing, oh God, this guy might actually do this. He might actually try to jump into the world of boxing. And I'm not going to lie to you, he fits. He fits really well. Did you see what he's going to be coming out in, by the way?
No.
So if you haven't seen it, go to his social media. There's a whole video of how he got this thing done. But he went gator hunting, found a 12-inch gator, killed it, skinned it, and created a Hulk Hogan-inspired getup that he will be wearing to this fight tonight, since obviously he is the real American in this fight as Anthony Joshua, not an American fighter. Again,
I'm sorry for our viewers. That is bright
an ugly sight. Oh my God. Ugh. Sorry. One Scott Cox is in the studio, and thank God he actually brought a music list for me. Otherwise, he wouldn't have a show on Sunday.
Multiple.
Oh, great.
Multiple.
Fantastic. That's always
It's like you didn't have anything to do on a Friday.
Dude, this is already I'm gonna peel the curtain back, and I don't know if my cousin's listening right now, but if he is, he got a text message from me that was very wordy, because if y'all know me, I have one rule when it comes to living with me or whatever. I'm a very laid back guy, but I warn everybody, never wake the sleeping bear. Okay. If I'm asleep, especially asleep to go to bed for the next day, work the next day, all that type of stuff, unless the house is on fire, unless someone died, don't wake me up. Don't wake me up. Let me sleep. I got stuff to do tomorrow. Don't even try. I got two calls last night at 3:45 in the morning and 4 o'clock in the morning by my cousin who lives in Texas. There's not a lot of ways that ruin my Friday more than that, but a way or something that has at least brought me some joy, at least brought me some sense of, positivity on this Friday, is that incredible football game we got to watch last night between the Seattle Seahawks and the LA Rams that ended probably the best way it could have. Seattle was down 16 points at one point, 30-14 in the fourth quarter. Just to put this in perspective for you guys, Seattle has never, literally in their program's history, in the entire organization's history, come back from a 15-point deficit. They were 0-172. I'm not exaggerating. Go look it up.
Yeah, and the Rams have only lost once.
And guess what happened last night? Behind Sam Darnold, the man that everybody coming into this game was expecting, God, here comes his kryptonite once again. Because
he tried.
At this point, Sam's career against the Rams, you might as well just go play for the Rams, my guy, because that's the one team you can't play well against. But my God, the fourth quarter and overtime that we got from him, and I don't mean to just pat myself on the back here, but did I not tell you Kenneth Walker was going to be a key factor in this game? Somehow only got 9 carries through the first 3 quarters of this game, yet still broke away a massive touchdown that they needed at the beginning of the second half. I knew he was going to be involved. I thought it was going to be more. I won't lie to you, but
I'm sorry, Greg Kerr.
I know.
Sorry, Greg Kerr.
Look, man, if you've been listening to the Greg Kerr show, local legend, love the guy, 12-2, right here on KG Ego Sports Talk. He's had the worst luck, though, when it came to the playoff run. He's lost so many players going into this. For those of you who are fantasy football nerds like us and or are not, you get about 12 roster spots
on the bench. Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry. I meant like in the starting lineup. I don't know the exact number, about 12. Greg had to go in with 8 brand new players that he didn't have last week. So,
and the one he did have last week left on the bench and went off last night.
Yeah. So it wasn't a very good day for Mr. Kerr, but I mean, there's a lot of people that are thinking that right now. Unless you had Puka Nacua.
Oh my gosh. And I had to double check. I'm in 2 playoffs right now. And I was like, please,
12 catches, 225 yards,
luckily
2 touchdowns.
I didn't play Puka, but
luckily for the Rams, had that 40-plus yard touchdown at the end of the game. Honestly, luckily for him, because now after this game, everybody's going to just forget about the dumb stuff he said 24 hours ago. We're all just going to say, that was Puka. He was just having fun. He was just hanging out with some buddies, said something stupid, did something stupid. Thank God he left that touchdown celebration on that stream. But I mean,
most wild game I've seen in a long time, man.
I agree. And I echo what I said a couple weeks ago. I think in overtime, especially during the regular season, we have to force the second team to go for 2.
Yep.
You have to.
And even before that, I mean, the fourth quarter 2-point conversion that they went for, which they didn't get until the review. Luckily, that pass was behind the line of scrimmage, and he was able to get the ball. And if it wasn't for the player picking the ball up and acting like, oh, he was just picking it up for the ref, well, you just tied the game for him.
God for Chabernet, because I mean, again, 3 straight touchdowns for the Seattle Seahawks, 3 straight 2-point conversions to win this game. That one shocked me because I was sitting there wondering, what the heck are we looking at? Like, why are we looking at this again? And then when I'm hearing them, talk about it and explain it, I'm like, oh, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, the Skyview cam saved the day.
We were just talking about this, how ticky-tack this can be if you really rely on the replay assist, especially late in these games. But this is an instance of why it's a good thing to have, because I'm not going to lie to you, I don't think there's a single soul in that dang stadium, including the referees, that even saw that or even would have considered that being a thing. But because we have the replay assist, because we can actually look at it and go back and say, wait, Sam threw that laterally. Sam threw that backwards. It got batted in the air. It got picked up in the end zone. Doesn't that technically constitute a fumble? And that's exactly what got called. And that's what tied the game for Seattle and essentially sent them to overtime. Not to mention the incredible defensive play in the fourth quarter by the Seattle defense, who got 3 and outs in a row. This entire game was entertaining. It really, really was. And at one point, I'm not going to lie, I did think the Rams were going to sprint away with it, especially when they went up 30-14. But this is just another instance where we could sit there and say, every team, doesn't matter who you are, who you have at quarterback, what you have on the offensive line, every single team is within shooting distance at the end of these games. All of them are. And everybody is capable of coming back down ridiculous amounts of points, which is going to be great to see in the playoffs. Now, I still believe, though, like I told you guys yesterday, if you are the Seattle Seahawks, I don't know if the bye is going to be a good thing for you. I really don't. I am a firm believer that, especially in football, when you get that bye in the playoffs, it normally is not a good thing. unless the team you have coming up to play you is beaten up to hell from the game before. And most of the time, that doesn't happen. So we'll see what happens for the Seattle Seahawks. I would expect them to wrap up the rest of the year as top of the NFC. And I believe with this win, they did clinch their playoff berth at the very least. I don't know if they clinched the entire division just yet.
Yeah, I think they're a win away from clinching the division, but they
Yes.
definitely clinched the playoffs.
I know if Atlanta beats the Rams on Monday, if that game even continues to be a Monday night game, I expect it to be flexed out, if I'm being honest with you.
Yeah, they can't do it after Wednesday.
No. So we'll see what happens, and we'll keep you guys updated. But I think the Seattle Seahawks have shown us all that they are good enough to take this division.
They
move forward.
gave us every option or opportunity to count them out, even
Exactly.
Sam Darnold. But not only was I thinking, oh, Berta got this one, because after the first quarter and a half, I'm like, are they not going to use Walker? And I'm not even going to complain about Parkinson's usage because I am actually, because he only got 3 looks and one of them was a throwaway that he was just in the direction of where he was throwing it out. But I was expecting some more points. I'd started him over Kelsey, but luckily tight ends in this league doesn't really count for much. And like I said on Monday, I'm playing against Quinn Ewers and Gardner Minshew. So if I can't pull this out, I don't deserve to be in the playoffs.
Although I agree that it is a high likelihood that you will pull this out, my friend, we've seen some crazy stuff.
Crazier things happen, like I said.
And we all forget Minshew Mania was a thing for a while, so God only knows if he steps up. What we do know is the Chiefs will most likely be playing this game without Rashee Rice and a very, very mentally, I don't want to say.
Oh, is he counted out?
No. Oh, Rashee?
Yeah.
Rashee is most likely counted out. Yes. He is. He's
that's
going
his
through
number one receiver
concussion protocol, from what I understand. Travis, though, is the guy I was referring to. I don't want to say mentally broken because I don't think that's the case, but definitely mentally in the dumps.
Maybe he needs some Minshew Mania to help him out.
I'm just saying. He needs to grow his mustache back out,
Right?
man. I mean, I miss that. Taylor may not like it, but we all loved it. Let's bring that back, big guy.
Yes.
But we'll see what happens with the Kansas City Chiefs. Right now, they have nothing to play for, so they might just say, you know what, let's just play bracket buster. Let's just ruin people's playoff experience and just, take some people down with us. I can't wait to see what we get from both of those quarterbacks, though, because something in my heart is telling me Quinn Ewers is about to show some people too.
I hope so. And I'm going to go back to the morning show before us. And they brought up the same topic that, we've been talking about for months is it's not really on Mike McDaniel and Quinn Ewers.
No.
They think it's more of, if the Bengals come out and lose this game against a Dolphin team that's pretty depleted, they've already removed 4 players going into this week. And if they can't pull out this win in a backup team without their number 1 receiver, this is Zach Taylor's job to lose, not Mike McDaniel. And we've been talking about that for months.
Yeah, and honestly, I hate that Zach is getting all the blame for this because, again, this isn't necessarily Zach Taylor's fault. I think this is the fault of the entire front office of the Cincinnati Bengals because, again, all we've seen from your entire organization is just mismanagement. Bad placement of where the money went. Your first-round draft pick barely even wanted to sign with you. He will be playing in this game, from what I understand, by the way. And to be honest, just the way you've shaped this team is not going to be a successful way to really keep a team happy.
And there was a player that came out yesterday during the game, and they were talking about the Bengals, and they said, an unidentified person has been mentioning to the media that it's a bigger problem than Zach Taylor, that even when he played with the Bengals, the management doesn't even talk to the players.
No,
it's like a big wall. You don't talk to management. You talk to your agent. The agent talks to the management. And he said it's a bigger issue in Cincinnati than Zach Taylor. And yes, like you said, it's sad that Zach Taylor is going to take all, but it's the head coaching position. That's who they immediately go to.
Honestly, it might be a blessing for Taylor. I'm not going to lie.
And Burrow.
Getting yourself out of that situation might just be what you need. And again, if the Cincinnati front office wants to be so disconnected from their players, if they want that level of boundary, I guess go ahead and let them. But that's not how successful teams are built. You need to know your players. You need to know what they want and what keeps them happy, what keeps them on the field. And if you're just going to put up a wall between you and them, all that's going to do is cause more friction. I mean, let's take the Shamar Stewart situation. We talked about it multiple times, probably ad nauseum, but the reason they couldn't even sign their first round draft pick, which is known as one of the easiest things to do in the NFL every single year, is because they didn't want to pay him certain things. They didn't want to pay him like just the additives in his contract. And honestly, there were points where we even heard that they wanted to make sure his contract wasn't even guaranteed. As a first round draft pick, that is unprecedented. So clearly, there is somebody giving bad advice to the ownership in the front office of the Cincinnati Bengals. I don't know who it is, but somebody is feeding you bad advice. You got to get rid of that person and you got to restart in the front office. You got to be able to take down that wall and have a relationship with the players who are playing on the field. Because if you don't, they're not going to want to play for you, period. No matter how much money you throw at them. This may be a business, but I don't know if you guys have ever been in a family business or been around a business being run at all. But businesses that the boss and even the grunt workers don't talk, those businesses don't work out very well. They really don't. The businesses that do are the ones where the guy comes to work and knows every day that that boss has their back. That they know no matter how bad of a day I have at the office today, the owner's going to say, hey, man, it's good. We signed you for a reason. We brought you here because we know you're able to do the job, and that's why you're here. If you don't have that relationship with the players, if you don't have that relationship at all, personally, this is a failure. This is going to fail. But again, that's just me from the outside looking.
Well, that's one of the blessed things, with me working at MoneyWise for all these years. They push that. We're a family. We're a work family. And, you spend a third of your life with us and your work family. So why not make it a family feel where, somebody's got your back and you're not going in, shrugging and not wanting to be there. And you can read that on Joe Burrow's face.
Oh, 100%.
I don't know if it's his relationship with the coaches or if it's just really sounding more like the whole foundation
and the lack thereof of a relationship with the front office. I mean, if you guys want to get football related, let's go Jerry Jones. Let's talk about the Cowboys and how much extra they have to go through every single day. These guys are working out in the locker room with fans literally walking by as a tour is going through the locker room. Like, there's a reason they're okay with that. And it's because Jerry has a relationship with all of them. Jerry can sit down and say, that's my guy. And they know Jerry's got their back. That's why people want to go play for the Cowboys. Because, yes, although you are seen as a circus, and to be honest with you, you have to deal with a whole ton more than any other team would have to, but you're okay with it. One, because it's the Dallas Cowboys and just the legacy as a whole, but two, because of the relationship with the front office. What better feeling do you have than going to work every day knowing that you're friends with the boss? You know what I mean? Like, as weird as that is to say, I'm sure half of you are listening to me and saying, I hate my boss. I would never be friends with my boss. Okay, good for you. I tell you right now, your job would be so much easier every single day if you and your boss had a good relationship. And the same thing goes in every instance, including football. So the Cincinnati Bengals, although, again, facing a rookie quarterback this week, if they look bad at all and Zach Taylor gets fired for this, although, again, that's just how it goes in the NFL, I don't think people really are seeing, I should say, exactly the ramifications that is going to hold for their entire franchise. Because people already don't want to go play for you because they don't think you're going to pay them. So if they see that you're allocating blame in the wrong areas, I don't think a coach is going to want to come coach for you because all they know is, well, if we go 2-15 next year, they're just going to fire me no matter what they tell me in this meeting today. So I don't know about you guys, but that doesn't sound like a job that I would exactly sprint to be going and taking right away. I'm not.
I mean, speaking of players that were in a bad situation, Jacoby Myers was asking to get out of the Vegas Raiders for months. He finally gets over to Jacksonville, and he's already feeling like he's a part of something. Yep. And he got locked in 3 years, $60 million, 50 guaranteed. I mean, that's just, it shows.
And that's perfect money for him. It really is. He's worth every dang dollar. I think Lawrence is going to be the perfect quarterback to make everybody realize this guy's been a dude. This guy's always been a dude. I mean, he was the only receiver the Raiders had, and they said, we don't need you. We got Trey Tucker. Oi. Again, you can't even get the ball to Bowers. So why the heck is this a problem? Again, I love seeing that Jacoby got his signing. I love seeing that he's going to be in Jacksonville for a long time. And honestly, as much as I'm now lukewarm on Liam Cohen, if I'm being honest. At first, wasn't a fan, not a fan at all. But he has really shown that he could turn this team around and make them a contender. So I have to give him his flowers, at least for that alone. And I'm sure he had a hand in getting Jacoby over there because he probably saw the talent himself and said, why are they wasting this? Bring him over here. We need somebody to go right next to Brian Thomas anyway. And it fit amazingly. So we'll see what Jacksonville's able to do with their newly signed long-term wide receiver. But if you're a Raider fan, I think you're going to be crying in your coffee here in the next couple of weeks just because you're going to be missing this guy. You really are. And talking about wide receivers and whatnot before we get to our break and get out of here or get to our first guests of the day because they should be here any minute. There's going to be a ton of players missing from this Bears and Packers game.
Really?
Roma Dunze, out.
Yeah.
Burden, out. Josh Jacobs, questionable.
He's been questionable.
Christian Watson, questionable. This game may just come down to which one of these quarterbacks wants it more. Is Jordan going to be the guy? Is Caleb going to be the guy?
Can the Packers stop the run?
That's going to be a big thing,
That's going to be the key factor.
Because Ben Johnson, we all know how much he loves his dual back system, and if they can run all over you, they will. I mean, he's already had a game this year with 250-plus yards on the ground. We were talking about the Seattle and the Rams game and how big this was for their division. This one is equally as big. It really is, because if the Bears can win this week, wrap it up. We're good. I'm saying the Bears walk away as the champion of the NFC North, which is insane, especially after what we saw last year, the trade for Micah Parsons this year. I mean, I don't think anybody was expecting the Bears to win the division. I think we all expected them to be in the wild card race.
Yeah, I mean, even when before the season started and we went down who we thought was going to win divisions and we picked our sleepers, I know the Bears was your sleeper.
Yep.
And I'm like, okay.
And again, I just had a feeling that they did the right things. They did exactly what was necessary.
And how difficult is it,
No.
Miami?
I'm just
all
saying.
you got to do is bring in an attitude and put an offensive line and defensive line together. How difficult is it?
It's so amazing when you actually sit down and look at football at a base fundamental system and say, if I can't block, I can't run a play. How easy is that to really understand? I don't think a lot of teams really understand that. I think they have faith in the line that they have. But I mean, again, I've been harping on this when it came to the Bears all last year. I harped on it all this year. All their problem was an offensive line. I mean, again, I'll harp on it with the Raiders too. If you guys don't want to listen to me, then don't.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I mean, you talk to Raider fans, they're all blaming Geno.
All of them.
Yeah, Geno's a part of it. But if you give the guy some time, maybe you find out if the guy's your quarterback.
That's what I'm saying. Because everything I hear when I bring it up is like, well, you guys have a garbage offensive line, probably the worst in the NFL. And that's saying something with the Tennessee Titans and all these teams being such hot garbage as well. But everybody looking, well, have you seen the throws that Geno makes? Yeah, because he has to run for his life every game. He has been playing with a bum leg. Like, this guy is literally giving you everything he has. There was a reason I asked him in week 2, what do you think is going to be harder? Your time with the Jets or your time with the Raiders? And there's a reason he looked at me and said, I don't have an answer for you yet.
I'm not answering that.
I don't have an answer. No, he didn't say it that way. He legitimately said, I literally don't know.
You ask him that same question now.
Because I think he saw it in week 2.
Oh, yeah.
I think he knew. He's like, oh, this is going to be a long season for your boy. It really is. And honestly, much like we're talking about Zach Taylor, all the blame for no reason at all, except the fact that the fan base wants it to be, is going to go straight down on Geno Smith and Pete Carroll.
Yep.
And honestly, I get it. Pete Carroll is who Pete Carroll is. Maybe his style of coaching just isn't the way anymore. But I don't blame him. He's not exactly the one that reached out to all these offensive linemen and said, come play for the Raiders. He's not exactly the one that, goes out and tries to recruit people. This isn't college. But we're still going to blame Pete. We're still going to blame Geno. Why? Because everybody, much like in regular life, they just want to point the finger and say, you're the bad guy. But we can't blame a whole line. We can blame one guy, though. It's It's ridiculous. But again, it also stems from my thoughts on the entire Cincinnati Bengals thing with the lineman walking up to Joe Burrow trying to chew him out. I'm like, God, you guys, like, even the linemen don't see it. Even the line doesn't see it. Like, how? How do you not see how bad you guys are playing?
I'm wondering how difficult that job is to be an offensive lineman
Oh, it's
for the
probably
Bengals.
incredibly difficult.
I know it's difficult, but I'm saying, like, with the quarterback, that is frustrated, and with all the media blaming the offensive line, having to get up the next day, obviously you're getting paid nicely, but getting up the next day and knowing that you're one of the main reasons your team is 4-10 or 4-11.
It's true.
It's got to be a tough job.
Okay, no, 100%. But again,
it's your job.
It's your job.
Right.
And you're lucky enough where you aren't the one getting blamed all the time because people don't even know your name. And I don't mean that as a slight. It's a legit thing.
No, it's
How
correct.
many of you can actually name your entire starting offensive line? I promise you, most of you can't. Why? Because we never know their names because they never get the blame.
Until they're holding.
Exactly. And then, oh God, 67 sucks. Get him out of there. Okay. What's his name, big guy?
Yeah, how often do you hear the media be like, oh, that was a great block by the left
That's
tackle?
what I'm saying. Unless it's a well-known left tackle, you don't know the guy's name.
I'm probably the only person here in this studio that knows who Patrick Paul is.
This is true.
You know what I mean?
I was like, that's my point, though. It's like like for me, Matthews, love Matthews on Atlanta, has been a mainstay for our offensive line forever. But I can even say, he's reached the age where we need to move on.
He's getting a lot of calls.
Like, I'm just saying, like, the offensive line is a pivotal piece of a football team. If you don't have it there, it's not going to be anywhere else, no matter how good your quarterback is. And honestly, I feel bad for Joe and all these other quarterbacks who get blamed for all of it. Because again, like I said earlier, when it came to Geno, you guys, instead of learning who the problem is on the offensive line, would rather just point the finger at the one guy who's in front of the media every single day and say, it's your fault. You're the one that should be doing this. You're the one that should be changing all the blocking formations. You clearly don't know how to play football.
Yep.
You clearly have no idea how this breaks down. So at this point, I mean, you guys can place blame on whomever you want. But teams without an offensive line, you're at the bottom for a reason. And until teams actually address that, like the Bears did, you won't be competing for anything. And honestly, we could talk about the Chiefs in the same dang area. Because what was the biggest problem for the Chiefs all year long, Sparky? Their offensive line. They were injured all year. They couldn't block a runny nose. Patrick was running for his life every single game. That's why the Chiefs sucked this year. It wasn't because Patrick randomly forgot how to throw a football. It wasn't because Travis couldn't catch a football. It's because the line couldn't block for them long enough for Patrick to find anybody. That's why the Chiefs aren't in the playoff hunt right now. So until teams start realizing that and fixing it themselves, we're just going to be talking about this year in and year out of which team has the worst offensive line. Well, you're most likely going to be at the bottom of the barrel, in my personal opinion. Let's take a break real quick. On the other side, our first guest of the day should be here. We'll be talking some boxing as the Jake Paul v. Anthony Joshua fight is tonight. I'm sorry. I don't know why I keep thinking it's Saturday. It's tonight, live on Netflix. You can check that out if you have a Netflix subscription. And who better to help break this down than a professional boxer himself who's been on a Jake Paul card before. Yes, he has. So we'll talk to our guy Joel on the other side. This is the Early Bird Special right here on KGEO Sports Talk. Welcome back. Early Bird Special right here on KG Sports Talk, 101.1 FM, 12:30 a.m. It's time to talk some boxing. We got a very, very exciting fight tonight. Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua. And who better to break it down for us than a professional boxer himself, his coach, Warm Up Athletics. We got Coach Espinoza. We got Joel Iriarte back in the studio. Guys, good to see you.
Morning.
Welcome.
Morning, guys.
Real quick, before we get into the Jake Paul stuff, I want to highlight what you guys are doing at Warm Up first. What's going on over there right now? What do you guys got going? I know you were just talking about a toy drive. I mean, can anybody get involved with that still?
Yes. So with Joel, we set up this partnership with Cap K, specifically the location in East Mojave, because they don't really have a lot in regards to like the economy and they're kind of isolated out there. So we've been talking with them. This is our second annual toy drive with them, and we do a backpack drive during the summer. And then we've almost already doubled the amount of toys that we got from last year.
Okay, cool.
Definitely want to try to get as many as we can. I think there's 20 more we would like to get. And then the link for that, I think, is on the IG page, right?
Is it page? Okay, fantastic. So go to the Warm Up Athletics Instagram page and you can see, is it an actual list of toys or can anybody just donate something like if they went and picked something up from Target?
So for that's a little bit too late because they are in East Mojave, they have to drive down to grab the toys.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But we have the Amazon registry on the IG, and then those toys are right there. And then we're pretty selective with making the toys fairly reasonably priced.
Okay.
Nice.
Okay.
I'll definitely check out that Instagram page and 100%. Share it on our page right now.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
I mean, this community is so giving, man. I mean, I know we were talking about it off air, but sometimes I'm shocked at how many people want to give. And I know we've talked about it, but it's like sometimes I look at, and if I know you, it's like I know your financial situation. I'm like, I know you want to give, brother, but you sure you don't want to go get some lunch or something first? Like, go get some food in your belly before you start giving. But I mean, that just shows how much these people love this place and how much we love each other. You know what I mean? So I think it's a great thing that you guys are doing that. But obviously, I pulled you guys in here to talk about this match tonight, Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua. How do we feel about the fight, first of all? Personally, I don't think Jake has a chance in hell just because it's a cruiserweight against a heavyweight, but that's my personal opinion. But what are your guys' thoughts on this?
Yeah, so me and Coach, like in the gym, we're talking about how we even thought Tank Davis was about to put him, you know.
Really?
And he's a lightweight.
Yep.
You know, so I think Anthony Joshua, I feel like, I mean, everything says that Anthony Joshua is going to knock him out, you know, pretty early. Like you're saying, the heavyweight against the cruiserweight. But I don't know, man. You know how Anthony Joshua looked against Reeves and he looked against, and he got knocked out in his last fight. I mean, if Jake Paul closes his eyes and swings for the fence, maybe he might get lucky, you know. But
well, he's about a foot shorter, so he's gonna have to be swinging for something. But I mean, talk about that though, and like the weight differences, because I don't think people really understand how much power is like behind a punch from a heavyweight compared to a cruiserweight, and that is a lot, or has a lot to do with how much the guy weighs. So like, talk about that a little bit. Like, as a professional boxer, would you ever really go that much higher in your weight class to take somebody on?
Well, I know, what was his name? The Usyk was actually a cruiserweight. He started off at cruiserweight. He went undisputed. And he went up to heavyweight and became undisputed as well. You know, and there's a couple, you know, lightweights that go up to I think Crawford, you know, went up to fight Canelo, you know, into 168, I think. And, you know, there has been fights where you can say that, you know, the weight classes, you know, kind of just, you kind of push it over to the side because of the skill. But, you know, I just don't think Jake Paul has the skill to back it up, you know, like these other fighters, you know. So I feel like we are going to be able to see that. But again, you never know with Jake. You know, I feel like a lot of people do kind of discredit him just because he's a YouTuber, but he has been putting in that work. Depending on what his camp looked, depending on if Anthony Joshua, you know, wasn't in, you know, locked in, you know, in these past couple weeks leading up to this fight, you know, we'll be able to tell the difference, you know, within that, in those first couple of rounds. But it still doesn't take away from my, you know, I think Anthony Joshua, me and Coach are talking about it right now, you know, that Ngannou knockout that he just had, you know, just recently. And yeah, it was crazy. So I don't see it going past the fourth round.
No. Anything to add to that, Coach? I mean, do you see anything in your eyes that might give Jake a little bit of an edge here?
Not in my eyes, no. Not from what I've seen. I mean, I'm sure he had an incredible camp. Like, yeah, he's a novice boxer, but he has all the resources available to have the best training, and he's improved a lot, in the past couple of years. Great coach, great strength and conditioning coach. That's my realm. So Coach Larry Wade, I've always been a fan of his. The thing is, it's like with the Bud Crawford and Canelo fight. You know, Bud said, like, I wanted this fight for 2 years. He said, I knew I was gonna take this fight for 2 years because he saw something in Canelo that he felt he could take advantage of. So the only thing I could be thinking is maybe Jake Paul's been seeing something and he's been planning this for a while. And he's like, okay, I know what I see. I believe in myself. I could take this fight. So unless he has that ace up his sleeve that he knows where he can take advantage of, I don't think he can do it. Josh was so big.
Because that's what I was thinking. Because when I'm reading in on this, especially after the Tank Davis thing went down and they had to find a new opponent for him, Jake has been saying that Joshua's been on his list for a while and he's had his eye on him. But having to change your entire training regimen, going from a guy, obviously you're sparring with that's the size of Tank, and then you have to shift all that over to a guy the size of Anthony. I mean, that's got to be hard to actually do, right? I mean, this isn't just simple, okay, well, now I'm just going to fight a guy that's about a foot taller than the guy I've been fighting for the last 4 months. Like, how do you guys feel about that? Like, have you ever been in that kind of situation where you've had to quickly just change everything up from your sparring?
Oh, like 2 fights ago.
Yeah. 2 fights ago, I was supposed to fight someone, and then, they put it out, and then you have to, fight a different opponent. So I do see that. And then especially height difference, like people don't, I feel like they don't realize how much like that height difference of, with the reach, the difference of Tank Davis, I'm sure it's going to affect them, again, with the sparring that he had to like accommodate, I mean, we were talking about it that we heard that Jake Paul was getting pieced up by a couple of lightweights, that they were just too nimble for him, so and then I'm sure they were smaller, in stature. So going up against a taller fighter too, just gonna depend how he's able to get inside, work on the body, again, kind of just move around and catch different angles. I feel like in order to fight a taller fighter, you do have to be a little bit more athletic in how you kind of do get inside. Because being the shorter fighter, you want to get inside.
Pull like a Mayweather kind of ability to just move around too much.
Because, I mean, he's not going to be able to fight Joshua from the outside. Joshua's going to have that long range on him, keeping him on the outside. So he's going to want to get it in the inside. And I think that's where just Joshua's going to experience is going to, shine. Because when Jake's coming in, he's going to want to catch him, coming in. So, yeah, so I mean, again, we'll see how he went upon his adjustment in training camp. That's why he has all the coaches, and yeah, we'll see. It's gonna be exciting. It's gonna be good. I feel like people, Teofimo and Shakur are gonna fight, but again, it's just like everyone's eyes are on Joshua versus Jake Paul. I feel like Jake Paul has kind of like, just established himself in the professional boxing game. So it's cool. It's cool to see that happen.
Do you see? I'm sorry not to cut you off, but do you see a trajectory for Jake where he can start getting the respect he's been wanting from all of this?
Well, I was gonna say, so if you look at the big picture, like, okay, let's say Joshua flattens him right in 2 rounds. A year from now, 2 years from now, Jake Paul gets better, calls Anthony Joshua out of retirement, and then beats him.
Yeah,
that's a part of the. You look at the big picture.
I mean, he clearly doesn't mind pulling guys out of retirement.
I mean, I don't. And then now he's not the villain anymore. Now it's part of a comeback story. Oh, I got knocked out. I mean, imagine the Instagram post of his comeback story. Imagine how many views that gets.
Yeah, cue the Rocky music.
Exactly. So now when you look at the big picture, I mean, it's not like Jake Paul's like, if I lose this fight, my career's done. I can't pay bills no more. And it's like, I got more millions to put into my training and keep fighting.
What do you guys think of his entire list of fighters he wants to go up against in general? He's talked about like Alex Pereira being on that. He wanted Crawford. I don't know if exactly it's going to happen anymore after Crawford retired this week, but I mean, he's got a ridiculous list of guys that he wants to fight, and they would all be main money fights.
Oh yeah.
Like every single one of them. Like obviously you want to shoot for the stars, but do you think Jake's kind of over his skis with the list of guys that he wants to go up against here?
Yeah, I mean, from like against boxing standpoint, like it's different to see, again, a YouTuber calling out like these fighters,
absolutely.
So, but I mean, like from my side of things too, it's just like he's a marketing genius, him wanting to go up against these guys is just like these are gonna get views, these are gonna get eyes, so I feel like it's cool, like to see how he's breaking the internet, with these fights and just making them happen.
That's what I respect so much about him and his brother is that they've gone into these such physical realms that you never would have thought they would have any chance in. But you're right, like their ability to market themselves. The only fighter that I can honestly think of in the last 20 years that reminds me of this is Chael Sonnen from UFC. because he was such a vocal guy about himself. He got him put into fights against Anderson Silva, against guys that he should never have even been in the octagon with. But because he's such a good promoter of himself, people believe it and start to get behind it. Do you think that that's kind of part of the game now, is just to be able to sell yourself as a fighter?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, I would say Conor McGregor too.
Yeah, Conor's a great one.
That's what comes to mind too.
Connor's a great one.
I mean, even the sport. I mean, I think the sport needs it too. I mean, with UFC over the years, I mean, I remember growing up and making a big weekend about Tyson fights. You know what I mean? We got the whole family together and we'd pay for the pay-per-view or whatever we had
no
to
matter
do to
how
get that
much
market.
it was.
Exactly. And we always got together. And I think when UFC and even the rise of WWE, I think it's good for the sport. I mean,
100%.
everyone, I've had that circled date, you know, I'm ready for this fight. I'm looking more towards, you know, going down the fight card. I'm excited. You just said his name, Anderson Silva. I grew up watching Silva in UFC, and I'm like, I know it's just an exhibition match, but it's good to see him in the ring, dude.
Oh, definitely. And then putting it on Netflix, like what other promotional company or boxer was coming up with these different ideas? Like, oh, let's throw it on Netflix. Let's make it for free. Let's do this. Let's switch it up. So definitely. And then, you know, like you were saying, is sell yourself the new thing. You know, with social media, like, the new, you know, time isn't money no more. Attention is money. You bring attention to yourself, people want a part of that.
Which who does that better than the Paul brothers? Let's be honest.
I can't think of nobody.
Exactly. So, real quick, because I know we're running out of time. There has been a lot of discrepancy that this is a sanctioned fight, that this is actually going to count. What do you guys feel about that? Like, I know a lot of people aren't very happy that this is going to actually count towards both their records, regardless of how it goes. So do you think that this should be a sanctioned fight between the two of them, or should this just be an exhibition?
Yeah, I don't see why it shouldn't be.
That's what I said.
Yeah, I don't see why it shouldn't be. Again, like there's things that go into it while it's sanctioned, like what is it, like things that, like ambulances being there, you know, kind of more safety being sanctioned like that. You know, again, like making sure they get tested by USADA, you know, again, the ounces in the gloves, just everything to make the fight, you know, fair, actually. So the fact that it is sanctioned, it actually, you know, makes it more even for both of the fighters. And I think everything should be sanctioned, because if not, within that, you know, kind of cracks and things start slipping, you know, within there, and you know, things get kind of crazy when it's not sanctioned.
Right.
I think the biggest thing is that people are resentful towards Jake Paul because he's doing it. There are mismatches all over the world in boxing all the time. People die in boxing. It's the most dangerous sport in the world. There wasn't a 2-1 card in Japan. Yeah, 2 people died. No one looked up the credentials of those fighters to see if it was a fair fight or not. But they see Jake Paul doing it, and oh, this is BS because
he's a YouTuber and he's getting this shot.
Yeah, and it's because he's making a lot of money, and he's a YouTuber and you're getting this shot.
It's a money grab. It's a money grab.
Yeah, but there's people all the time and mismatches, and no one gives it a wink. No one really cares. But because it's Jake Paul, I mean, go be Jake Paul. Go put the attention on yourself. Go sell yourself.
Did you guys see what I was just letting Sparky know, but did you see the getup he's going to be walking out in, the Hulk Hogan inspired gear? No. Apparently he has a whole video on his Instagram of him going gator hunting and killing a gator and skinning it and making this entire elaborate Hulk Hogan based getup that he's going to be wearing tonight, trying to be the real American. This is just going to be nuts. But real quick, before we guys let you go, this flew by. I did not expect it to, but you have a fight coming up, sir. Let's talk about that real quick.
Yeah, January 16th in Palm Springs, I'll be going for my 10th fight.
Nice.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, ready to go. I'm excited for it, man. You know, preparation and everything has been going great. You know, just sparring, you know, staying in the gym, working on with Coach Martin, you know, my dad. So yeah, we're excited.
Fantastic. Who's the opponent, real quick?
Nobody yet.
Nobody yet.
Yeah,
okay.
Nobody,
So it's just scheduled fight.
Yeah,
okay.
How
do you go into a training camp not knowing who the heck you're gonna fight?
I know. I think that's how it is usually for like prospects, upcoming prospects. It's like it's hard to find 8-round fighters, you know, again, and it's hard for the commission to sanction those fights too, you know, depending on like the weight and the experience and everything. You know, so like again, like tip my hat out to Jake Paul for actually like letting the commission like actually approve those fights. So for 8 rounds, you know, again, it's hard to find the opponents, and right now I'm just waiting for the matchmakers to tell me like, hey, Joe, you're gonna fight this dude. And let's make it happen.
Makes sense.
And another reason how, and then I please, I invite both of you to come watch Joel spar.
Oh, of course.
Heck yeah.
Come watch a spar, see how talented he is, and then that's the reason why too.
I'll jump in there as long as you don't promise not to beat me up too bad. Just don't beat me up too bad.
I
I'm
gotta
telling
get
you,
that
man,
on
come
tape.
by, watch him spar.
100%. Absolutely. It's
fun
been
to
a
watch.
busy couple of months, man, but we do plan to come down there and see you guys because we do want to talk to you guys about some other stuff as well and getting
cool,
involved.
yeah.
But real quick, before we let you go, where can people actually watch your fight in a month? And obviously, if they want to support you, how can they get involved? Maybe go buy some tickets and go see you.
Yeah, appreciate it. Yeah, so Joel Iriarte on Instagram, on everything. Even look me up on Google, Joel Iriarte. I have like everything up on my, like everything that I have going on in the community and on my fights and my career. And then, again with the warm up athletics, it's just what we do. Kind of giving back to the community. So we're always kind of pushing that and also my fights and my training and a little bit of everything that I do, on the warm-up page and warmupathletics.com. So remember, could check it out. We have, things right there where they could get involved with me and, what I have going on in the community. I know that the fight itself is going to be in Palm Springs. So they can check out on Golden Boy,
Okay.
So
Give me a reason to go out there.
Yeah, no kidding.
Right. They actually have a new arena that they're trying to promote. So
The Acrisure?
The Acrisure.
That arena's nice.
Really?
Okay.
It's nice.
Brand new built, or is this just like a refurbished one that they renamed?
I'm not sure.
I don't know. I just Googled
Either
it.
way, it's
and
Palm
I
Springs.
looked it up.
In Palm Springs, you can't go wrong there
You
regardless.
get boxing and the beach. Okay.
No
Yeah.
kidding.
I'm in.
11,000 seating stadium. It looks nice. It'll be on the fight will be on the zone on the Rocha.
Yeah, Rocha versus Carrillo card.
Fantastic.
Well, if we
look
get
out
some
for that,
time
man.
before, then we'll get you back in before the fight, and we'll continue to
100%,
pump this
man.
up.
Appreciate it. Yeah.
Thank you guys so
100%.
much for your time. We really, really appreciate it. Like I said, we will be going down to Warm Up Athletics, as all of you should as well, and go check out this. And honestly, have a good time watching the fight tonight. I'm sure the both of you will, as I will.
Sure.
And thank you guys so much for coming in. Have a good weekend. Have a good Christmas, man.
Man, appreciate y'all. Thank you
Merry
so
Christmas.
much. Appreciate y'all.
We got to take a break real quick. On the other side, we'll get to some of these smaller stories before we get to our other guests. Oh, the day. This is the Early Bird Special right here on KGEO Sports Talk. Welcome back. Early Bird Special right here on KGEO Sports Talk, 101.1 FM, 1230 AM. We are also streaming live every single day on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. I want to thank our guy Joel and his coach Martin coming down, helping us break down this Jake Paul fight that all of you are most likely going to be enjoying tonight, as I will on Netflix. What text messages we got, my friend?
We can start with totally the reason I agree, totally the reason the Chiefs suck, but why does Baltimore suck?
That is a good question. That is a damn good question. That is one of those outliers every year that everybody looks at a team and says, I have no idea why you guys can't put it together. And honestly, maybe it's just the mindset from the coaching. God only knows. But I was thinking about this. I know I floated Brian Flores from Miami. Why not Brian Flores to Baltimore? Could you imagine the defense he could create? The stuff he could do with the players he has? My God. My God.
You got some fantasy lineup questions. This one says Devontae Smith or Marvin Harrison.
Oh, that is tough. Marvin's been hurt the last couple weeks. Probably Smith. Even though the Philadelphia Eagles offense has been very spotty, they looked great last week, obviously, although they played the Raiders. Yeah, I'd probably go with Smith. I don't know.
And another one says Josh Allen this weekend, or do I go with Burrow? And I'm also looking at the waivers because Stroud and Purdy are also out there.
You don't need to be making any quarterback moves. I can promise you that right now. I have been contemplating the exact same thing my dang self. Am I starting Josh this week or am I starting Joe?
I'm personally going with Josh.
I'm going with Josh as well. I think Josh has more to play for. And honestly, or typically when that happens, Josh steps up in a myriad of ways. So I wouldn't be surprised if he comes out slinging this weekend.
Yeah, my question is more of the defensive side. I can't get myself to go with the Saints.
I trust them only because of the matchup. That's the only reason I trust them. But you guys know how I feel about the Saints. They're just as bad as a lot of these other teams. They don't have a lot of help on the defensive side. So I wouldn't expect them to get a lot of turnovers or sacks, but they could definitely hold a team to not scoring.
Yeah, and I'm glad I didn't go with Seattle last night.
Yeah, that's definitely true because we talked about it and we knew Matthew Stafford was going to be on his game. So it's one of those things where you take what you can get. And honestly, if you got a defense that's going against one of these lower teams, like maybe the Titans or the Jets, ride with them. Just ride with them. I promise that's going to be probably the best option you got. Let's take a break. On the other side, I believe Chris Flail is first, and then we'll be talking to our guy Kyle Pittser on the other side of that as well. We got some fantasy wrestling stuff to talk about. Yes, there is an opportunity for you wrestling fans to get into the fantasy game as well. We'll talk about that on the other side of the break. This is the Early Bird Special right here on KGEO Sports Talk. Welcome back. Hour 2 of the Early Bird Special right here on KGEO Sports Talk 101.1 FM, 12:30 a.m. What's going on?
Great to be back with you boys.
I was just going to say, he's looking at both of us like there's something wrong. I'm like, what did I do?
No, just good to see you both again. You look so handsome and shiny. I'll pay it forward. You always call me sweet and handsome.
This is true. This is very, very true. But if you can't hear, that is our guy Chris Flail back in the chair as he usually is every other Friday.
Good to be back. And we were talking off mic. I just have to give a shout out to Joel and his coach. Fantastic personalities. You rarely see high-level athletes that are that good on the microphone. It was a pleasure to listen to.
Oh, dude, those guys are money.
Money, absolutely. Go down to Warm Up Athletics too. If you have any thought of getting into the boxing game, Martin is one of the best boxing coaches, and who better to learn from as well than Joel, a professional at the craft. And honestly, he's on his way up. I told him on the way out of here off air, I was like, dude, we got to get you and Jake into a match together.
Well, and they seem cordial, like they'll take care of you, unlike the boxing gyms that I think that you had gone to, where you go to the gym. You go to the gym and they have you hit, they hold the pads and have you hit the pads, and they can make anybody look okay on that. And they go,
like, hey, man, we could get you as a sparring partner.
You look pretty good. You should hop in there. And then some 115-pound boy takes a year off your life with one punch.
I was telling you off air, I dated a girl years ago whose family was into the boxing game. First thing I thought of when just even thinking about meeting them was, oh God, Dad's going to get me in a boxing ring and I'm going to get the beat out of me. There is no way he's going to let me walk away just normal. It just can't.
She comes home by 9. Every 3 minutes late is a round you got to spend.
Exactly. It's like, no, I'm good. Thanks, Dad. I'm all right.
I actually did boxing and wrestling when I was growing up, and it's no joke.
I never did wrestling.
And I was surprised because, I mean, I knew UFC was going to get big, but when it first came out, it was like almost like a circus.
Yeah.
It was like a side, almost like an ECW type.
Oh, so cool. Yeah. Guys wearing jeans and boots.
And then boxing over the years, I was like, man, it's going to eliminate boxing. Thankfully, there's guys that, spend the time and, whether they're running a gym and Warm Up has been around for a while.
Yeah.
And we've talked to them, and I'm really impressed with what they do, not only in the ring, but for the community. And they've even grabbed a couple of the 559 guys that we've had on. And it's just a great family.
That's really cool to hear.
And honestly, go donate to their toy drive too. Just a shameless plug, but there is a little bit of time. Go to our Instagram. You could find the Amazon wish list right there. Donate to a kid. Every kid deserves to open something on
That's
Christmas.
what Christmas is for.
It really is.
Yeah, so shout out
and
to them.
Stranger Things.
But the only bummer of that is usually I'm on a deck with a bunch of comedians, and it's very easy to be the toughest guest. I'm in the 3 spot so far today, so that's a bummer. That's a bit annoying.
Well,
but it's okay.
You're here, so that's all that matters, sir. Good to see you.
I told you last night you can come in anytime, your family.
I appreciate that, but I'm very conscious, especially I know what kind of opportunity you give to people here. I do not want to dilute another guest's time by giving my goofy, what do you think about this?
Co-host.
So whatever time you got for me,
we've had vets sit in that chair and be a co-host with us for 30 minutes. It
didn't go well.
I do. Well, I was just going to say, I love that boy like a brother. I will say again, I do not want to dilute anyone else's time. I'm very conscious and thoughtful of other people.
Let's not get you in trouble like Anthony. Okay.
Let's get into this, because I know with our open mic, we got to get a boxing ring for those guys, because between Tyson and Anthony, I don't know how much more time I can hear them bicker over their mediocre teams.
Oh,
coming from a mediocre fan.
They're Packers Bears.
Yeah.
Rivalry.
It seems like the last 2 or 3 times we've had Tyson and Anthony and Jared,
little girls fighting,
Trevor on. They all just, and again, this is my fault. I'm going to take full responsibility for it, because I've opened the door to now potentially having a panel of NFC North fans all bickering at each other. All I'm waiting for is somebody who's a Vikings fan to have the chutzpah to step up and actually go against these 3. But
you got Anthony all depressed, wearing eyeliner now.
You've got to let them have their fun. It's been a long time.
Yeah, since all 3 of these teams are good. Yeah.
And I'm, as an Eagles fan, up until the last couple of years, I was that guy. Dolphins, Falcons,
still that guy.
That's right. You got it.
Oh, I'm a glutton for punishment on my end. So,
well, Eisen was talking about it the other day. He's like, all these Patriot fans, they forget, they think the NFL started in 2000.
Yeah,
they thought about the 50 years of
pain and misery they've gone.
And they brought up the Eagles.
Brady.
He said even before all this, the Eagles had a long road as well.
Listen, my whole life as an Eagles fan was a couple of things. Was you watch the game, it's terrible, you're miserable, we're down We're down 2 touchdowns and a field goal all game until the last 5 minutes. We get it to where we lose by somewhere between 3 and 7. So you have to watch the whole game and you don't feel good about it, or you're comfortably ahead and then you just fall apart. And even if you win, you don't feel good about. And 2 or 3 times a year, a team just comes into Philly and blows you out. Until the last 8 years, that's how I thought I would live and die. So yeah,
Well, how are you feeling about the Eagles now, with a couple weeks away from the playoffs?
Last time I was here, I told you I didn't think. I mean, all respect, the Las Vegas Raiders, leave it to them to put anybody back on track.
Yeah,
this
that's
season.
true. That's very true.
To get the train back on the track, that's who you want to play. Last time I was here, I said I don't think they're going to get it together where they need to be, and I still kind of feel that way. But by default, they've got a good chance to get out of the NFC now. I want to see what Devontae Adams' hamstring looks like and knee looks like when you pull a hammy this late in the season,
especially the way he did.
Yeah, non-contact.
I don't feel good about how that's going to come back. And if that doesn't come back, this is an open field in the playoffs for the NFC at this point.
Yeah. Well, especially after watching what we saw last night.
That's what I was going to say. What about Seattle?
Yeah.
What okay, yeah. What are your thoughts on Seattle? And then do you kind of agree with us with the overtime rule that we have to force these guys to go for 2?
Yeah. This is a whole new different kind of whatever they call sabermetrics and all that.
Exactly.
A whole new dimension of the game. I don't believe yet in the Seahawks to make a real playoff run. And now, as you can see, the public, the mainstream criticism, the way we talked about the Chiefs for years, the way the Eagles have been in the fire all year. The Cannons have now turned on the Rams thanks to Puka Nacua, who's gonna ball out, but
he's gonna need to in order for people to just forget what the heck he did.
Well, and what and again, conspiracy Chrissy over here. What he really did was criticize the refs.
No. There was more to it than just that.
Oh, I know, but
don't get me wrong. The criticizing of the refs and even him going to Twitter afterwards and saying I was wrong, thank you to the Zebras. I don't really care. That's not even the issue for me. The issue for me is you're making dumb decisions, getting on streams with people who are probably the bottom of the barrel when it comes to streamers.
Great point.
And you're also making anti-Semitic stuff happen.
Well,
there's
the thing. He's a 20-some-year-old kid. I'm certain
his brother just got arrested yesterday for Grand Theft Auto, but yeah.
I'm certain he was not aware of, but also the thing that's forgotten. So what I think this is really about, he criticized the refs and they went, all right, let's go through this clip, turn the heat up. Brother got arrested. He did a touchdown dance coached to him by a man named Aiden Ross.
Yes.
That does not, a man named Aiden Ross taught him the dance. That does not sound, anti-Semitic. I don't think that was intentionally anti-Semitic when you learn the dance from a Semitic fellow.
But that's not, okay, I get that point, but still you have to know what you're doing.
Going on the stream alone.
And much like I've highlighted yesterday, and I will continue to highlight, Aiden Ross is not a well-liked person. This isn't like Kai Cenat. This isn't like iShow Speed, where if you go on their streams, you're going to get positive feedback. These are guys who are well known for being a-holes on the internet and looking stupid.
Well, it's just something we've talked about, not even just football, with just athletes, or even me and you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Even in the comedy world, you know the groups of people to be around and which ones not to be. And he is a kid. I mean, overall, at the end of the day, he's a kid and he's learning, and he's got to have to, just like anything we did growing up, we've got to live and learn.
And that's what I feel bad for. Is you're right. He made the dumb decision to go on the streamers, the Neon, the Aiden,
then try to bring them into the practice facility. Which, what are you doing, dummy?
And he needs to be the last player to do it. But the smackdown was about 30 times heavier than it needed to be.
Fair. No, absolutely. And again, I agree with you that the touchdown dance wasn't necessarily, like, he didn't know. I'm not saying he did it on purpose.
Yeah.
But come on, like, I get all of this comes with maturity. I realize that. But you have to know who you're hanging out with, man. Like, if this was, like I said, if this was iShow, if this was Kai Cenat, nobody would have given a dang. In fact, they probably would have praised him and said, oh, look at him trying to expand the Puka Nacua brand and be that kind of guy. Just like Matt Rife and AJ Brown going to Diamond Gym and doing the stuff with them. It would have been positive. But no, you chose the dumbest of the dumb.
And the more you get in trouble, the better he does.
I mean,
luckily
that's
he
the
went out there
positive
and
for the Rams.
performed and did his job.
That is the positive.
Yes,
for the Rams.
he did.
This has
And-
been a weird year for Puka altogether.
Yeah,
though.
for sure.
Like just because of the start of the season with the girlfriend situation, and now he's having a historic year. So maybe you're right. Maybe this is what they need from Puka in order for him to be that kind of wide receiver. I don't know.
I have no idea. I just know the focus is on LA right now. And once you get under that heat lamp, it's kind of hard to keep, as my team has shown, it's not easy to keep the train on the tracks when people start asking questions. And as soon as you see that press I think Sean McVay had last night, as soon as you hear the quote, "No, this hasn't been a distraction," it has begun to become a distraction.
He got livid about it last night, though.
Before we get into what you thought of the Cena final match and all of that, but what'd you think about the good old NBA Cup?
Okay, so I didn't watch the NBA Cup because I'm an old head in basketball.
It was a great basketball game.
Frustrating right now.
Like I feel like me and you were the only ones who watched it, Sparky.
I didn't catch the NBA Cup. I forget where I was, but I came home at the end of it when the Knicks were doing the Minnesota Timberwolves just made the 8th seed in the playoffs. Everybody crying on the side of the thing, and I felt good for them. And Karl Anthony Towns is somewhat weeping, and they're talking about hanging a banner. And by the next morning, I saw the article come out that we will not be.
We're not doing
we
that.
will not be hanging a banner.
No.
Twitter exists. We will not be hanging a banner.
As an NBA fan, do you think this is just the NBA Cup is silly, or something that at least is getting, obviously not you, but getting other people to watch basketball?
It annoys me, not to be Charles Barkley, but it annoys me that they had to put in a financial incentive to get the players to commit to early mid-season basketball.
It's like the All-Star game.
And the teams that are truly committed to early mid-season basketball, your Detroit Pistons, are not the teams that win the NBA Cup. So far it's been the Knicks and the Lakers that traditionally have not taken mid-season basketball seriously. But I will say this has made me more impressed with the Pistons, with the Boston Celtics, by the way, with no Jason Tatum and Porzingis in the 4 spot. The fact that the Knicks have not been running away with the Eastern Conference is enlightening and does not give me any faith that they can really compete against the Western Conference in a postseason.
Well, and not only that, but like you just highlighted, there are teams in the East like Cleveland and all these other teams that are just not playing to their potential. And to see a team like the Knicks not have the number 1 overall seed and the Pistons do, like that shows me either you're not putting it together in the regular season, like you just said, or maybe they just don't care.
And we talked about this, and you said I was crazy. Donovan Mitchell is too handsome to ever lead a team to a championship.
Well, I just wanted to bring it up because, I was more I'm happy whatever they have to do. I don't run the NBA, whatever they promotion incentives, whatever they have to do to get 100% play out of their players is what I was excited about. And 2, what I'm seeing out of Wemby and this team, man, I'm like, they came out of nowhere. Yeah. We didn't expect. I mean, we saw the Spurs building for the future, but I didn't know it was going to happen this quick.
Yes, and to watch the unfolding San Antonio Oklahoma City rivalry and the clear Wemby Chet dislike is going to be really fun.
Dude, this is going to be the new age Shaq and Yao.
Yeah,
it really is. This is going to be that matchup where every single time we're going to be wondering, okay, who's going to bully the other? And unfortunately, Chet has been on the bad end of it every time.
Well, and this time Shaq is on the Rockets.
Yes.
And so that's an even more fun. Shaq's not on the super team. Shaq is challenging the super team, which is great.
And I'm trying to look at tickets for they come to town and play the Clippers or something I can afford.
It'd be probably cheaper to go out to San Antonio to see them. To be honest with you.
It probably would be.
It probably would be. Well, we lived in Sacramento, and before we left, we looked at going to a Warriors game, and I was like, well, I'm about 7 tax brackets away from that.
And they suck right now.
Let's go to a Kings game, and those were like $800.
Yep.
See, pre LeBron, we used to get tickets to the Lakers in suites, and it was $100, $125, and the Laker girls would come out and bring you food, and you didn't have to stand in line for anything.
Wow.
As soon as LeBron came, I'm like, I can't afford that.
That's over.
So I'm hoping the Clippers will be a little cheaper, but
that's new age sports in LA, man. Though
I might be wrong.
Dodgers, Lakers, all these guys, it's going to be impossible to buy tickets unless you actually live in LA.
But we're halfway into this Flail segment.
Yes.
On Flail Fridays. What'd you think about the whole Cena deal?
I mean, you could probably write down what you're about to say. I think
Go for it.
You were absolutely right about what was going to happen.
That's what he wanted.
And that annoys me. Not for your. I'm
sorry.
I'm happy for you.
Don't stroke that ego.
I'm always happy for you. I'm always happy to stroke your ego.
It's getting too large for everybody else anyway.
He strokes me every Friday.
Those
It's about
headphones are
time I
about to
stroke
break,
him back.
man.
Pause.
Those headphones are too small.
Pause.
I refuse the pause game. I am stroking and I will not pause.
Anyways.
I did not think so. I said to you, I'm not certain Cena will lose his last match, and I felt like he shouldn't, and this is why. To me, I know wrestlers go out on their back, and that's the tradition, and that's the right thing to do for the business. But Cena's scenario here is unique in that this was the greatest of all time. We were all acknowledging that he had decided that while he can still do it, while he still had the skill, while he was still on top, he was going to stay away from Hollywood and all that stuff and give us everything he had for one last year and then cut it off so we didn't have to watch him deteriorate. This was not your standard pro athlete leaving. This was John Elway. This was Michael Jordan's second retirement. This was Floyd Mayweather. This was Terrence Crawford. This was not supposed to be Anderson Silva, Chris Weidman. This was supposed to be John Jones that walks away before we had to see this happen.
Yeah. No, that's fair. But I think the original plan was that, though. Like I know we have to wait for, WWE Unreal or whatever to actually show it to us, but I genuinely believe the plan was to have him win. I really do. I think that was the original idea, but then John probably took it upon himself because being the traditional wrestler he is and said, no, I'm passing the torch. I'm not solidifying my story. This isn't Cody finishing his story at Mania. This is me saying, hey, all of these kids you saw from NXT tonight are all the ones that are going to be taking over for the rest of us as well, and they're going to be doing amazingly.
Well, he said the same thing during, I don't know if it was the Cody interview, which is incredible if you haven't seen it.
Oh my God.
But the other one was, I don't know if it was Rogan or Cody, but he breaks it down in that way. He said, WWE just laid it out for me and said, whatever you want to change up, we're in. This is your tour. We want to do it the right way. And Cena is a wrestler's wrestler. Right. He wants to go down not like some special different entertainer. He wants to be in the books with the rest of the greats, which I just love.
And I know a lot of fans are upset because, like we've highlighted on the show, Shawn Michaels won his, Triple H won his. A lot of people still win their final matches, but John is just one of those guys that's very traditional, man. I just didn't see that being the case. Well, I just knew it was going to be a boring ending because that's
him
Gunther.
Smiling,
that's Gunther.
Smiling, tapping out. I was like, oh gosh.
And he's the ultimate.
And he explained that in the interview as well, which I thought was actually interesting.
But still wasn't good.
It wasn't what I wanted to hear. Though.
I know that's that John Cena insight. That's just that kind of robotic Socrates.
You know what's funny though, and on that's a great way to put it. I never even thought of it that way, but. I'm watching that interview between Cody and John yesterday, the What Do You Want to Talk About pod, which is fantastic if you haven't seen it. And I'm listening to John talk, and I think this is the first time we've ever gotten authentic John Cena. Like, not the face that you saw at the WWE. This is the first time we're actually seeing curled back. This is actually what John is like in real life, which is a very simple individual who's business-minded and knows what he has to do in order to make himself better. And he kind of like brings that kind of mentality around himself. But if you listen to the way he talks, he honestly, I found myself a million times listening to that interview saying, that sounds like me. Like he doesn't he brings up like being a car person.
Yeah.
And how people have this extensive just knowledge of cars and like ridiculous, I shouldn't say ridiculous, but crazy thought processes and crazy factoids that nobody that you would imagine ever knew that. Mm-hmm. And he's just like, I just like the purple one. It's so simple. It's
and
like, that's the man's man right there.
And he'll do anything and everything. He's got the famine mentality of just go for it. And I appreciate that. We talk about it in the comedy world. There's schools of thought where there's a lot of comedians that say you do everything. You say yes to everything. I probably say no to too many things. There's somewhere in the middle that's probably the sweet spot where I wish he would take more stances to where in situations like this, they wouldn't just squeeze all the juice out of him instead of preserving the greatness of the character.
Now, I presented this question to our guy KG, who comes on every Tuesday, but obviously now we are not going to be seeing John as a wrestler. We're going to be seeing John as the advocate for the WWE. Do you think there's one wrestler in particular that he is going to not necessarily latch onto, but essentially be the Paul Heyman for that guy, like the guy that's going to be there at every step of the road saying, here's what I would think you should do, but take it at your own merit?
Oh, I sure hope so, because he could be immeasurably valuable.
Personally, and I've been mulling on this answer for a while, but the more and more his name comes up around John, the more I see it, and the more I see him being the next John. I think it's going to be Javon Evans.
Oh,
John has that just authentic love from the crowd that John had, and at the same time, he's exciting. He's growing as a wrestler every single day in front of you. And I don't think I've seen an NXT wrestler be involved in more main roster stuff without being part of the main roster.
And he's like 21 years old.
Yep.
And we saw him in person. He was at AAA in Mexico City.
Really?
Yeah. And he
he was there for that.
He
I
was
forgot.
absolutely tremendous. I mean, I'm sure, I don't think he speaks the language.
Him and Leon Slater, his tag partner, are so much fun to watch.
He worked that crowd in a way that I could not believe it for a 21-year-old kid.
And another AEW superstar that was fumbled. I want to throw that out there because he did start there.
And I'm sure he's too old to get put over. But Cena, speaking of the LA Knight swell, he's already given the nod to LA Knight during the Roman battle back and forth. I'd love to see him just poke the finger between now and WrestleMania to kind of give a little nudge. I haven't earned it, but I know who has. Give me another one of those.
Well, I mean, the storyline on Monday too, with Gunther coming out and pretty much saying I made him tap out like a B word.
Yeah.
It really made me feel like, okay, John ain't gone. He's not he's gone. He's not a wrestler anymore. But something tells me we're going to see John walk out in a full suit one of these days, look Gunther dead in the eye and say, okay, you want to act like that? Here comes this version of The Undertaker. And we're going to be seeing some crazy matches go the opposite direction.
Well, it added another dimension of respect for Gunther to me, because to me, it looked like at the end of that match, he did not know John was tapping.
He didn't.
And he was surprised John tapped. And you see him look at the ref and go, did he? And he looks.
That's why I think John took it upon himself.
And he kind of just like sighs and shrugs for a second and then immediately stands up and spit screams at the crowd. And I was like, he gets it.
That's the Gunther I liked I missed, because like I had been saying for a couple of weeks, Gunther was on a rise before all of this. And what really made it sour for me was the whole idea with Yeet, and with him tapping out, I'm like, what the hell are they doing with Gunther, man? And now all those matches after that, the Goldbergs, all the crap, I was like, okay, this is gone.
Again, this is the criticism on Triple H's, but that could be an amazing storyline of the bully who loses his way and doesn't know who he is anymore because he can't be the bully. And then they just chopped it off and went, no, never mind, he's the bully again.
We have to remember, though, as well, he did sustain a pretty serious injury in that match against Jay. So that's why we haven't seen him in months.
Yeah, but I mean,
shouldn't have been in the match with Jay in the first place.
But what do you do with those couple of chapters where I believe he got beat by Cody and then he taps out to Jay and they go, oh, the shine's worn off. He's not the indestructible bad man. And now Brock is back. And we're just supposed to forget that all that happened and go, oh, he is the indestructible bad man. Never mind. Let's
and reading the preview for tonight's SmackDown, we're supposed to get Randy Orton back. Tiffy's supposed to be back tonight. And he's been talking, Burdick's been bringing it up that he thinks that this is kind of what Gunther, it's going to be the Legend Killer Tour type thing, whether it's Orton, it starts off. I know AJ's in that line. But there's a lot of guys. Brock, and I still think Roman Reigns, Roman's probably doesn't have a lot of time left.
Honestly, I think that this is just the only thing. Like, I know you guys are talking about why tear him down, but that's what the WWE does so great, right? We always get that villain that no one thinks anybody can take down. And then here comes John Cena. Here comes The Undertaker. And they finally beat him. And then that entire character gets torn down and rebuilt into something new. And I think that's what we're really seeing right now is we're in the midst of it being torn down. And we are now it is now being built back up as the career killer.
Yeah.
And with every brick that's going to get placed, your AJ Styles, your Randy Orton, your whomever, then we're going to get to see, okay, this is what they've always intended Gunther to be, which is the biggest star in the company.
I hope this doesn't start a trend where now everyone has to retire, because I like the Rock style of
you
his
never
next
know.
match could always be right around the corner.
Like, be surprised when they show up at Royal Rumble or something like that.
Yeah.
I think John is going to be the only one to truly do that because John has an outlet post wrestling.
Yeah.
A lot of these other guys don't. AJ, as much as I would like to say he could show up in a movie or two, he's not going to become a movie star out of nowhere. Same with Randy Orton.
Right.
So I think guys like that who have been in the company or been in the industry their entire lives will never fully retire. But a guy like John, where he's like, I got so much going on outside of this, kind of like The Rock.
Yeah.
I think you can honestly say that's pretty much done. I think the time is up.
Punk is going to be an interesting retirement.
Yeah.
Does he become an that's going to be advocate?
A forced retirement.
CM Punk in a button-up shirt in the back. Could you imagine?
He would have to be the next Paul Heyman. He would have to, like, the only thing that I would see Punk being good at after being a wrestler would be that kind of a manager where he's a Paul Heyman, where everybody who's around him becomes the next big guy.
Yeah, or put him in charge of an NXT. Let him run the counterculture organizations.
That's a good point too.
Promos and stuff like that.
He does work a lot with a lot of the younger wrestlers, specifically the women, but he does work a lot with them.
The chick magnet Punk.
I mean, did you hear that? That's why I think there's some real life animosity between him and Braun Breaker.
Oh, is that right?
Well, again, I'm just shooting here. I highly doubt this is true, but there is background relationships that have been tied to this because obviously I broke this down on Tuesday, but CM Punk very close to Cora Jade, who's a former WWE wrestler, now Elena Black, who used to date Braun Breaker for a long, long time. They had a really messy breakup that included some personal things that I won't get into. And I think there has forever been some real heat because he does see Cora as a daughter. And I don't know a lot of people that are going to just blindly just say, you dated that girl years ago. I totally forgot about that.
What a matchup, by the way. Backstage heat, and you've got the most athletic wrestler in the WWE against the least athletic human being I have ever seen on my life. I'm continually impressed with how badly CM Punk does anything coordinatedly physical.
Do we see Braun rip this belt off him, though, on the 6th? I think so.
I can't
there's
imagine.
A big chance it happens.
I can't imagine. I think this is where they do the Seth Rollins return and
thankfully
and bust
but
him up.
That's why I think it's going to happen, because it would make sense to me that although Seth doesn't want Braun to win it, he doesn't want he doesn't want Punk to keep it.
He doesn't want Punk to keep it, but I'm sure he wants to take it rather than have one of the person.
But who better to put it up against than the kid who speared him, the kid who put him on
his head.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh man, it's going to be a fun couple weeks.
What do you think? The last one I got for you is how surprised were you with the Austin Theory? And
I still don't get it. I mean, if he really is the pin eater, I just really, he pulls the mask off and pouts, and even the crowd was like, okay.
I know, they really didn't know what to feel about it.
They shouldn't know what to feel about it. It makes no sense. If it was Randy, a big marquee star, it elevates. This doesn't elevate to me. The masked man.
I think they're going to build him.
The masked man is the weakest chain in the group now.
Yeah. No, that's honestly fair. And honestly,
is he a part of it?
You're right.
Is he a part of it?
It'd be funny if he floats and is not part of it, just Sami Zayn style. He just auditions for the family for a year.
It would make sense that he tries to become part of it and then betrays them, because I wouldn't be surprised if Logan gets kicked out. Because remember how they kind of portrayed it after Survivor Series. Heyman never gave the answer that Logan's a part of this.
Yeah.
He, in fact, very much avoided that answer.
I like him in it.
I think so, too. I think
like
he fits really well.
And if Braun does get the belt, it's going to be a fun collision to where one rising star meets the other in the same group. That would be nice.
That's where I could see Braun going off on his own.
Yeah.
Because the way that he's been talking over people and walking out on the group and blah, 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 blah. I mean, it's a long story. It's Triple H, but I definitely miss Seth.
Yes.
I will say, as a big Rollins fan.
He's right around the corner. He really is. I keep seeing him on Good Morning Football, and I'm like, God, could you just come back to the ring already? Like, you're clearly healed. I don't know what you're doing now. Real quick, I know we're short on time. I just wanted to float this at you because I know you're a WNBA fan as well. But the WNBA PA yesterday announced that they will be striking if necessary.
Whatever. I
Surprise.
mean,
I said the same thing. I was like,
Whatever.
who cares?
You waited too
Like-
long. If you were gonna announce a strike, you should have done it 2-3 months ago. They did the extensions. I mean, they've done this wrong in every way they possibly can. And I love the league, and I really wish the best for it.
And
but now they've got like 3 to 5 offshoots that are comparable to the WNBA with private equity money. They did this really wrong, and the league might not be needed anymore.
Honestly, well, that's just what I was going to bring up. Is I think this is going to be the first ever professional sports lockout we see where they say, okay, and just not give a dang if you ever play again.
Yep.
They really will, because I don't know you guys, if you guys have the fan backing, you definitely don't have the financial backing. And to be honest, I mean, you've heard me on this show a million times over. I keep harping this. They can't pay you if they don't have the money.
That's right.
You're asking for money like LeBron, and look, man, not every player can afford that.
Right.
And every team here, they're trying to expand so they can get you that money, but you guys are shooting yourselves in the foot because you want it now.
Yep.
And it doesn't work that way. I'm
Yep.
sorry.
Yep.
Like, it just doesn't.
And the league's already been pilfered by, like I said, other offshoot leagues.
Absolutely. So it doesn't even matter. I think that's more what we're going to see is now the big three is probably going to have its own like women's division. And then that's going to be a year round thing.
Yeah. The only fun thing Team USA practice looks like it has been fun seeing these stars pair together. And, that's cool.
Team USA is about to run it the entire way in the Olympics, man. I'm telling you right now.
I can't wait.
Baseball, basketball, football, when we get into that, right? Like we're going to be running the table.
Especially after some of the women's 3-on-3 losses last time. I can't wait to see us wreck shop this time.
Hopefully we'll actually get Cameron Brink back too for that, who's a fantastic 3-on-3. But we have run out of time, my friend. Thank you so much for yours, and we will talk to you soon.
Thank you, boys. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Let's take a break, and we'll talk to our guy Kyle Pittser on the other side from Dionysus Brewing. This is the Early Bird Special right here on KGEO Sports Talk. I may just let this song go. I really may.
Oh, I'm out.
Welcome back. This is the Early Bird Special right here on KGEO Sports Talk 101.1 FM, 4:30 a.m. And our final guest of the day is here, Kyle Pittser from Dionysus Brewing. Good, man. Good to see you in studio. Thank you for joining us. Now, last week we didn't get to talk about this, and Sparky has piqued my interest when he told me that you have been working on this. But fantasy fans who listen to the show, I know there are a lot of you. I am a huge fantasy football nerd, but now Kyle has created fantasy wrestling.
Yeah, so
How-
there is another fantasy or website out there, but it looks like it was built in 1995, so it was kind of hard to navigate, wasn't really user friendly, and I've done it a few seasons with a bunch of guys, and I just thought to myself, hey, I can build a better website. Not saying his bad, but it could just be more modernized. So I went ahead and created ProDraftWrestling.com.
Okay.
And you can create a league just like fantasy football or baseball or basketball. You invite your friends. You guys have a draft. You guys draft wrestlers from SmackDown or Raw. I mean, you can draft NXT guys, but you only get points if they show up on
Main roster.
Yeah, main roster stuff. So, and there's a lot of different scoring events that happen. Like if you use a chair, a foreign weapon, if you interfere with the match, backstage segment. So it's fun. It's kind of keeps you involved, and that's kind of like what I want to work on is getting people interested in wrestling.
Yes, 100%.
So if you can, find some bridge to bring people in, that's what I'm trying to do. And I'm doing some other cool things on there, like a prediction. So like for tonight's SmackDown, you can go on and predict who's going to win matches, and there's like a leaderboard. Who predicts the best out of the entire website, not league based, but literally across the entire app. So
that would be fun.
Yeah. So you can get your own little accolades.
Cool.
If you're a good predictor, which is kind of easy to predict some of this stuff.
Sometimes.
Some stuff. But yeah, we're having fun with it. I haven't really promoted it that much yet. This is kind of like the big first talk about it. But
that was my big question is one, how would the points go? So you kind of broke that down a little bit with, weapons or, if they win matches, if they're in the big show. So, I mean, if I was going into a draft, those are the guys I'm looking for is the guys that are either getting a title shot or have the title.
Right. Yeah. So title shots, even just defending your title, huge points. Anytime you hit a finisher, that's like plus 2 points.
Nice.
If you kick out, that's plus 2 points. If you attempt a submission or get out of a submission, you're getting points. So it's not, I wanted to build on what this other company was doing, and they were kind of just making it like, if you win, you get points. If you lose, you don't get points. I'm like, let's make it more integrated where there's a lot of happening within it. Cause there was a lot of good wrestlers not getting any points. I'm like, okay, we need a way where if you get a guy who jobs everyone, he's still getting points and not just losing for your team.
Right.
So, but I think we'll work out the kinks as we start getting more leagues in there. And the goal is to, right now we're in like this, we have seasons. So you have Survivor Series, which is the Raw after Survivor Series, and then it ends on Royal Rumble. That's when the season ends.
Okay.
And then that next season will be that Raw after Royal Rumble, and it ends after WrestleMania.
Okay.
So, that's when I'm going to really kick up promotions because I want people to join for that road to WrestleMania.
Oh, 100%.
That's like the big one. So, we'll see. But yeah, I mean, the goal is to really find as many ways to get points for people and kind of learn how wrestlers interact with each other. And, I know they're doing things like the Unreal, and this is something different. No one's really doing what I'm trying to do here. And I think it'd be great.
Well, I think this is an amazing idea, to be honest with you. I mean, for people who want to get into football, I always explain to them, get into fantasy first.
Yeah.
Because fantasy football is the easiest way where you can get into players and multiple teams. And then you figure out, okay, who's my favorite? Then I'll follow that team and go from there. And wrestling could honestly be the same thing. I mean, my questions obviously are all stemmed around how the point system really breaks down, which obviously we don't have to get into because I'm sure there's a lot of technicalities in it. But I mean, you've already talked about it. It's a main roster thing for the most part with the WWE. Have you thought about throwing in AEW at the same time?
So that's on our roadmap for version 2.0.
Okay.
Is integrating. So right now you have a WWE based league. The goal, and I already have it coded out in the app where you can have a mixed league where you draft AEW and WWE guys.
Love that.
And then the seasons are a little different because you're kind of working between their like both schedules. So it's there's only 3 seasons throughout the year instead of a 4 season. Or you could just do an all AEW,
right?
Which is more niche. And I know that.
Well,
but there are some hardcore AEW fans.
It's niche, but I mean, I shared this. Did I share it with you too, Spark? I know I sent it to KG, but they announced, or Sports Illustrated announced, their wrestling awards of the year, and AEW claimed house.
Yeah,
like it was mostly AEW stuff outside of like Rhea and Io winning. Or no, I'm sorry. I think they said match of the year was Rhea, Io, and Bianca back at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
But regardless, I was looking at the list and I was like, good God, AEW destroyed this year. So
they're putting in work, and I think people are going to start taking notice. But it's easy when the booking for WWE isn't as great right now.
Right. Well, they were so focused on the John Cena thing,
and honestly, that's been my whole thing. When people go, man, WWE's not good right now. I'm like, honestly, John Cena's kind of derailed a lot of momentum, and that's okay because he is the GOAT. And I personally was never a fan of John Cena, but in the last year or two, I've put respect on his name. Like, okay,
same here.
You know, like let's see him go out on his terms, and let's see if he can put anyone else over, which he has tried. You know, Gunther was already over, so he doesn't need to be over. But
again,
but
I missed out all the whole 20 years of Cena, so I had to do a lot of homework. I watched a lot of Cena matches in the last year.
Yeah.
And I mean, I've got to put respect on him. I still don't think he's the GOAT, but I'm a different life.
Well, no,
I'm a different generation. So
Stone Cold Steve Austin. That's my GOAT.
I'm the Undertaker, but
I put him as the GOAT just because of the longevity success throughout my life.
And like even if you listen to that interview with Cody, he even mentions, he's like, you can call me the greatest, but
he doesn't see himself
in there was 10, 12 years that I was the only guy.
Yeah.
And he said, and I would tell people, jump in the raft if you want, but this is what we're doing. I'm running this.
That's why I see him as the GOAT, because he single-handedly carried the WWE to this place now.
Yeah.
And again, he may not have been the reason for the surge. I think Seth and Roman and all these great talents they have now are the reason for that. But if it wasn't for John carrying this company, it would have died years ago, and we never would have gotten what we got now.
I mean, I was watching WWE, since I was a kid, but I got back into it around like 2014, 2015.
Yes.
And between 2015 and that like COVID era,
awful.
It was a bad product.
Awful. So bad to watch.
But I still tried. I tried to find the good in it. And
there's a reason AEW became very popular.
Exactly. And watching them make a comeback and then kind of falling back a little bit this year, I'm like, okay, it's fine because I know they know how to come back from it.
Yeah, of course.
And they're trying to build new stars, and that's the hardest thing right now. We're seeing a lot of old heads retire, and which is I'm okay with because I do want to see some new faces. I want to see some new characters, some new gimmicks. I know Triple H doesn't say gimmicks are a thing anymore, but I want to see it happen though.
Yeah, I think he means more with like the gimmick thing is like you're never going to see a boogeyman again.
No.
You know what I mean? Like you're never going to see the gladiator wrestler. Like that's never going to be a thing in the WWE anymore, but gimmicks are still very much a thing. Like Damian Priest, the rock star, is still very much a part of Damian Priest's character today. Yeah. So I don't know. But again, the product itself is growing. I think this is a great way to get people into it.
Yeah.
And honestly, especially if everybody's just now catching on to the John Cena thing and they're like, oh, I wonder who's out there now. And I mean, the internet already loves half of the wrestlers and you don't even know their names for the most part. I mean, I don't know a single person that doesn't know who Rhea Ripley is anymore.
Yeah. I mean, she's a bridge in itself for the younger generation.
100%. So I think and honestly, dude, this is an amazing idea. Me and him have talked about it for years of how this could actually be put into practice, but you finding a way to do it, dude, I have to commend you. This is awesome. Well, I can't wait to see this grow.
And here's another thing too. Like if you don't really know what is happening in the WWE or even AEW, because it will be on here as well. I have a championship section, so you can go there and see who has the belt. And you can see the history of who's had the belt. And then you can also go through all wrestlers, and see who's hot, who's trending down.
Mm-hmm.
So not only if you are in fantasy and you can track that information, you can also just see like who's active right now,
right?
What guys are wrestling. So it's very I want it to be informative, but I also want it to be fun too.
Right. Absolutely. And honestly, I can't wait to jump into this my dang self and see what it's about.
We'll have to start a league.
Well, again,
Let's do it.
We have to do
I'm
it.
down.
Honestly, we'll throw it out to the listeners as well. If you guys are fans and want to join this league with us, we'll figure out a way to throw it on our Instagram and have you guys jump in.
I know a couple guys that jump in.
Oh, 100%. I'm curious. Okay, so also another question I had, because I know you said you break it up into multiple seasons.
Yeah.
How do the drafts work for that? Like, can you say if we started a league and I drafted, I don't know, Roman, but I didn't want to give up Roman in the second half of the second season, do I get to carry him over, or do I have to redraft him in the road to WrestleMania season?
That is all dependent on your commissioner. There is a keeper option that you can keep one wrestler.
That sells it for me.
Yeah,
I know for a fact if I get one of these guys and he is killing it through the entire year, like Tiffy, honestly, if we started this at the beginning of the year, Tiffy was winning every match. So if Tiffy was still a part of it, I was like, I ain't giving that up. That's dumb. Like, this woman wins everything.
I'll give you an example. So there was a season where Tiffy won the Money in the Bank.
Yes. And she was in Survivor Series and Elimination
Chamber. The problem
Chamber.
was I drafted her thinking she's going to cash in, right? She's going to cash in.
Oh, yeah.
She didn't cash in for an entire season.
Yeah.
And then literally that next week on the new season, she cashed in. And I literally was like, dude, come on. So, like it's all about timing and everything. Yeah. So, but
well, that's why I'm curious too, because if you can get AEW involved in this, it could be like a fantasy football situation where you have like 2 or 3 guys going on Monday because they're on Raw, but then Tuesday you got AEW guys getting points for you, and like all that type of stuff. So it could be
that would be intense,
right? It could be a great way though for fans, or at least common fans, to keep up with both products.
And probably the only reason I'd ever watch AEW or NXT.
Well, see, that's another thing too. I do want to like. This introduce people, you know.
Well, this upcoming 4-way, I think, at World's End is going to definitely blow the roof off.
Is that the one with MJF?
MJF, Samoa Joe, Hangman Page, and Swerve are all going to be going for a title, and that's going to be one of the best matches I see all year. I can promise you that.
Yeah, I'm
a fan of all 4 of these men, and all 4, again, I hate highlighting this, but all 4 WWE talents. Just saying. Well, MJF, I guess, isn't, but
he was a security guard.
He was a security guard that got pushed by Samoa Joe.
By Samoa Joe, yeah.
You could be watching the Jake Paul fight tonight.
Oh, that's another,
This is how I wasn't going to. I didn't even know that was a thing.
Mm-hmm. It's tonight on Netflix.
Oh, we'll be showing that at the brewery tonight. Come by the brewery.
Fantastic.
See,
so if you want to go have a pickle beer slushy and watch
it's holiday season. Did I read something right?
Yeah.
There's a
Okay, so I went crazy, made a candy cane slushie, and I didn't think I could make that work. And honestly, it's probably the most 2-point accurate slushie I've ever made, ever.
Pinpoint accuracy?
It tastes just like a candy cane.
Oh.
And I even which is kind of weird, I shredded a bunch of candy canes and made like this paste so like it sticks to the rim, and it's kind of hard to get it off, but it's fine.
Look, what slushies are available now?
Yes. Okay, so you got the pickle. It's spicy pickle, a little spicy, not too crazy. You got your candy cane, your blackberry cobbler, which is going to be phased out soon because the holiday season's running out, and the same with the candy caramel apple. And then there is Fruity Pebbles still, your favorite.
Nice.
100%.
Caramel apple is my favorite.
Yeah, caramel apple was really good too. But really the Fruity Pebbles on top just make it for me.
Right.
Is that what you got planned tonight?
Yeah, I mean, it's
there's football tomorrow.
There's football tomorrow and Sunday. Hey, there's a lot of crazy things happening in football right now. That game last night, check this out.
Fantastic.
Check this out. So I was hoping the Seahawks win. I have no skin in it, but I was like, if Seahawks win, and then the Rams went out going forward, and then the Seahawks went out until the last week, and the Niners went out to the last week, and then the Niners beat the Seahawks. It's like a 3-way tie for the NFC West and possibly the number 1 seed. So I like what's going on in football right now. There's a lot of exciting things.
It's in the college football playoffs this weekend. Are going to be incredible to watch. Real quick, because I know we're running out of time. Do you want your team to win that number 1 overall seed and get the bye? Or are you like me where you think that's kind of going to shoot you in the foot?
There's 2 things with this. If it wasn't a Bronco team, no, I wouldn't want to win that. But since it is Denver and Denver home field advantage is an actual advantage, yes, let's take it. Let's take it. Mile High, people suck wind.
Well, see, like true. That's absolutely true. But there are a few things that make me worry about your Broncos, not necessarily the team itself. But no, it's more just, well, the offensive inconsistencies for sure. But it's it's more for me that I'm looking at this in a sense of what I've seen in the past. I've highlighted it on the show multiple times. When you're the team that gets that first round bye in the playoffs, normally you come into that second round rusty as all hell.
Yes.
And when you're potentially, for you guys, up against a Buffalo Bills, a Baltimore Ravens, one of these big teams that are
hungry.
already, and they're already pissed off because of how bad their season went. I'm going to harp on this till the end of the season, but Josh Allen is still the best cold weather quarterback I have ever seen.
I would agree with that.
And that don't mean that he can walk into Mile High and just walk away with a win, but that does give them a little bit
He's kind of built for that, though.
He is. He's built for this kind of thing. So that's why I'm worried, because personally, I would love to see a Denver Broncos, Seattle Seahawks Super Bowl rematch. That would be really fun to talk about too. But at the same time, I don't know if either of you really want that bye right now.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. I mean, you face the Jaguars, which honestly, that's
going to be a great game.
It's going to be hard. And then it's the Chiefs on Christmas, which should take that.
Should.
And then you got Chargers.
Yep. And that's going to be the big one too, because if the Chargers win out and you guys lose one of these, they could take that division from you,
which is so sad.
Before we wrap up the show and go head out to the weekend, we got 2 lineup questions. Ooh. One is Jennings, Debo, or Shakir. I know Debo's only a couple catches away from a bonus, so he wants the ball.
Yeah, so let's go with Debo on that one. That's probably a big one.
And then the last one says, need some help, guys. I have Swift, Kenneth Gainwell, or Woody Marks. Who do I start this week? I heard
this one yesterday. Personally, Gainwell has been killing, and I love Woody Marks for Houston, but he doesn't score touchdowns.
I like Swift.
I do too.
I like Swift. Green Bay's D is a little tough right now.
Honestly, if I were you, I would look for a way to get Swift and Gainwell into your playoff lineup right now. Yeah. I don't know exactly how you could do that, but if you can somehow move some stuff around, that would be your best bet.
Well, if you haven't been out to Dionysus, man, you're missing out. Head out there.
Real quick, shout out the website one more time for the fantasy.
ProDraftWrestling.com.
Go check it out. We'll check out on our Instagram as well. We'll be setting up a league for any fans who want to join it with us. Thank you guys for joining us all week long. We appreciate it. Here comes the legendary Rich Eisen. We'll see you on Monday. Sparky, let's get out of here.